To get close all browsers. To get close all browsers opened by WebDriver, you will be taking with this particular quit method. Okay, done. Now you can see here. So for now, we got imported all the required packages, which we imported all the required packages created with the class, created with main method, provided path of exe file, launching with the browser, entering with URL. This is, we need to be get considering that taking with this particular first window. After that, I'm just giving some wait statement, providing that particular respective wait statement. Okay. After that, we got second window and then we got third window. Three windows got open, retrieving all the windows information. Once we got retrieve all the windows information, now navigating to first window. Once we got navigate to first window, then closing only first window. Let's see that. As simple as just we are trying to get understand that how exactly we can get handle with that particular respective multiple windows here. Okay. Now you can see here this particular one you will be taking with mentioning about runners that you will be taking with Java application. Now you can see here first it will open first window, then it will go with second window, and then it will go with third window. Now this is the first window. Now it will go with second window. Now it will go with third window. This is third window. Now navigate to first window. Then close only first window. Closing with only first window. Remaining two windows are there. That is what you are taking with close method. Now we can see here. Let me run. Let me run once again. Just let me run once again. Now we can see that first it will be taking with first window, which it will be taking with first window, and then taking with second window, then it will go with third window. Now it will navigate to first window. Okay. Then it will close only first window. This is what we got an option to get work with multiple windows. Now, in a place of close method, in a place of close method, you will be taking with quit method, which you will be taking with quit method. Now we can see here. If I just run this, now we can see that it's need to be get close. It's need to be get close all the windows. It's need to be get close all the windows here. Taking with second window, then third window. Okay. Now navigate to first window and close all the windows, all the browsers. Closed it. So that is what it will be taking with quit method. So according to the requirement, based on tester comfortable, need to be get understand in utilizing all that particular respective methods. So the one we got first window, second window, third window, navigate to first window, and then close all the browsers. This is what we got an option in getting working with multiple windows. I mean, as simple as we are trying to get understand that how exactly we can automate the functionality of multiple windows here. So this is what it will be taking with in handling with different kind of the functionalities. This is what we got our first program. What is the first program we done? Login, log out. After that, Chrome browser. After that, verification. After that, test data. After that, mouse over. After that, frames. And then alerts. And then keyboard actions. And then drop down. After that, wait statement. After that, file upload. And then JavaScript executor. After that, window handlers. So now another important one, take with the new heading, take with the new heading mentioning that web table. Write with the new heading, write with the new heading web table. Write with the heading is web table. Take with the heading is web table. Okay. Under that, make a note of small description. Make a note of the small description. Online students also. Online students also. Make a note of the small description. Okay. Take the small description. Displaying the data. Displaying the data. Displaying with the data in table format, displaying the data in table format, in table format on web page, on web page, displaying the data on in table format on web page, on web page. Okay. See the understanding. For example, taking with this particular application, if we done with login, we are able to see lot of data has been displayed. We are able to see the lot of data has been displayed. Now you can see here, considering that this particular one, can we consider this is one table here? So this is we can consider as one table. So we got rows and then taking with columns. So the data has been displayed in a table format. The data has been displayed in a table format on web page. So that kind of thing we are considering the web table. Now we need to be get understand that what are all the activities we can perform in the web table. Further, again, to get understand in the simple way, for the web table also we are taking with one small application. For the web table also we are taking with one particular small HTML application. On that particular web table, we are taking care about in performing all the required activities. We are taking care about in performing all the required activities. Let's see that what exactly the activities we can perform. Let's look into that. So the one we are taking with the small HTML file related to that particular web table. that will be mentioning about taking with web table. Okay, done. Now you can see that. See the understanding. See the understanding. If we get consider this particular web table, what are all the activities we can perform in this particular web table? What are all the activities we can perform in this particular web table? See the understanding. We got web table. In the web table, in the web table, we can take care about, we can take care about in retrieving count of the table. We can take care about, we can take care about in retrieving count of the table. We can take care about in retrieving count of the table. One option. Another option, another option, we can retrieve. Another option, we can retrieve in taking with, considering that it will be taking with data from the table. One we can take care about in retrieving count from the table. Another one we can retrieve data from the table. So while working web table, we can take care about, we can take care about in performing two activities. What are the two activities? One is count of the table. Another one is data of the table. Okay. Now, this particular count, this particular count, this particular count we can take care about in retrieving, in retrieving row count. We can take care about in retrieving row count. At the same time, at the same time, we can we can take care about in retrieving column count. One will be taking with row count, one will be taking with row count, and another one column count, and then taking with, and then taking with row and column. Related to count, related to the count, we can retrieve row count, and we can retrieve column count, and we can retrieve row and column. Similar to that, if we take with data, if we take with data, we can retrieve, we can retrieve data from, data from one particular cell. We can retrieve data from one particular cell. We can retrieve data from one particular cell. Another one, we can retrieve data from whole table. We can retrieve data from whole table here. Considering that taking with the count, considering that taking with the count, this particular count, we can retrieve this particular count, we can retrieve row count, and we can retrieve column count, and we can retrieve row and column. Another one, taking with the data, we can retrieve data from one particular cell, and we can retrieve data from the whole table here. Okay. Now you can see that. Considering that if you want to retrieve the count, it can be row count, or it can be column count, or it can be row and column. It can be row count, or it can be column count, or it can be row and column. any count you want to retrieve, any count you want to retrieve, you will be using method name. You will be using method name. What is the method name? Size. Size is one predefined method. Size is one predefined method which has been used to retrieve row count. Size is one predefined method which has been used to retrieve row count, column count, and row and column. Any count you want to retrieve, any count you want to retrieve. You may retrieve row count, or you may retrieve column count, or you may retrieve row and column. Any count you want to retrieve, you will be taking the method name. What is the method name we got? What is the method name we got? Size. So size is one predefined method which has been used to retrieve count of the table. Okay. Similar to that, we need to be get retrieve data. Similar to that, we need to be get retrieve data. To retrieve the data, to retrieve the data, you will be taking with method name. To retrieve the data, you will be taking with method name. Taking with method name. That particular method name, you will be considering that using with the method that you will be taking with get text. To retrieve the data from particular cell, or to retrieve the data from whole table, you will be taking with the method name that you will be considering that get text here. So two methods we got it. One is size method and one is get text. Size method to retrieve the count, get text to retrieve the data. So by taking these things, we need to be get perform all the required things. So let's see that how exactly we can do that. The whole conclusion, first thing, web table. Meaning of web table? Displaying the data, displaying the data in table format on web page here. So when you are working with the web applications, in the application, any data displaying in a table format, that we are considering the web table. While working with the web table, what are the activities we can do? What are the activities we can do? We can retrieve count of the table. Another one, we can retrieve data from the table. Taking with the count. What is the count we can retrieve? Row count, column count, row and column. To retrieve any of the count, what is the method name? Size. Similar to that, we got data. Data can be retrieved from particular cell, or data can retrieve from whole table. To retrieve the data, what is the method name we got? Taking with get text here. Okay, so let's see that how exactly we can utilize. Let's see that how exactly we can perform these particular things. So for that, we need to be get take care about. We need to be get taking care about in writing that particular respective program that you will be creating with respective class. You need to be get create that particular respective class that you will be taking with, that you will be taking with class name, that you will be taking with web table. And after that, as usual, we need to be get continued in writing all the respective code here, so that you will be considering that taking with public static void main, and then taking with string args. So that we need to be get open with main method. So here we need to be get perform in doing with test steps. We need to be get take care about in doing with test steps here. So that particular test step you need to be get take care about in doing with system dot set property in doing with system.set property, and then need to be get mentioning about webdriver.gecko.driver. After that we need to be get provide path of driver.exe file. We need to be get provide with the path. We need to be get provide with the path including with file name and extension. We need to be get provide with the path including file name and extension. Then you will be writing with the statement driver equal to new Firefox driver. Okay. Now it is giving an error. Why it is giving an error? We need to be get imported packages. We need to be get take care about. We need to be get take care about in importing all the required packages. We need to be get take care about in importing all the required packages. In that particular packages, if you are comfortable, we can type all the packages. That is one option. We got a shortcut also, but don't go with this kind of shortcut. Always take with the practice of in typing that particular respective packages. You need to be get comfortable. You need to be get comfortable in understanding what are all the packages need to be get used according to the requirement. Because of that, always take with the practice of in typing that particular respective packages. Okay. Once we got open with, launching with the browser, what is the next step? Enter with URL. To enter URL, what are the methods we got? One is navigate.to. Another one, get method. Based on the tester comfortable, we can get utilized. Based on the tester comfortable, we can get utilized any of the method. Either you can go with navigate.to, either you can go with navigate.to, or you will be taking with get method. Okay. Now you can see here we got launching with the browser, entering with URL. Okay, done. Now we need to begin taking care about count of the table. We need to begin take care about count of the table. That particular count. What is the count we have to retrieve? Row count, column count, row and column. We need to retrieve row count and we have to take column count and we have to take row and column. If we take with row count, what is the row count here? How many rows are there? Online students, how many rows are there? 6 or 7? 6 or 7? 7 rows. How many columns? Column count. How many columns? 4 columns. Row count. What is the row count we got? What is the row count, guys? 7. Column count. 4. Row and column? Okay. Let's see that what is that particular respective output you will be getting it. First we need to be get understand. First we need to be get take care about in retrieving with row count. That you will be taking with int and then you will be taking with row count here. Now, to retrieve the row count, what is the method name we are using? What is the method name we are using? Size. To retrieve the row count, we are utilizing with size method. For that, we are taking with driver dot find element, and then by dot, it will be taking with XPath. You need to be get provide that particular XPath. I mean, when you are working this particular size method, when you are working the size method, how size method is understanding what is the count need to retrieve, it will depends on XPath. When you are working with size method, when you are working with size method, how size method is understanding what is the count need to retrieve, it depends on XPath. Similar to that, while working get text also, while working get text also, you will be taking with that particular respective XPath. While working with get text also, you will be taking with that particular respective XPath. So the one you will be taking with size method, and the one you will be taking with get text. Both the methods are working. Both the methods are working based on XPath only. So how to provide that XPath? We'll look into that. And then taking with the dot. What is the method we required? Related to count. What is the method we required? What is the method name? What is the method name? Size. We required a method name. We required a method name that will be taking with size. Now you can see the method. What is the method we got? Do we got size method here? No. Get size is different. Size method is different. Get size method is different. Our requirement is need to be get access size method. Our requirement is need to be get access for size method. To get access for size method, what we are doing is we are writing the statement. What is the method name we written? Find element. Now we are using method name. What is the method name? What is the method name? Find elements. We are using the method name find elements. One is find element. Another one, find elements here. One method, find element. One method, find element. Another method, find elements. What is the difference? This is the difference. Functionality of find element. What is the functionality of find element? It will identify particular element. The functionality of find element. It will identify particular element. The functionality of find element. It will identify particular element. Functionality of find elements. Functionality of find elements. It will identify all the elements of same group. It will identify all the elements of same group. Find element identify particular element. Find element identify particular element. Find elements find elements, identify, find elements, identify all the elements of same group. Find elements. It will identify all the elements of same group. That is what you will be taking with find element and then taking with find elements. Now taking with dot. What is the method we required? What is the method we required? Which we will be taking with size. So that you will be getting access for size method. That you will be taking with access for size method. Okay. Now we need to be get provide that particular respective X path. We need to be get provide that particular respective X path. Okay. Let's see that. To provide that particular respective X path, we are going with our regular options here. I'm just taking with right click and utilizing the option. I'm taking with copy X path. The meaning of copy X path? Uh-huh. The meaning of copy X path. Meaning of copy full X path. What it will provide? What it will provide? Absolute X path. So the meaning of copy X path, it will provide relative X path. I'm just taking with that particular X path. I'm just taking with that particular X path. Need to be get provided, that particular respective X path. Now see the whole understanding. We are taking with this particular option. We are taking with X path. It has to retrieve all the row count and then assigning to that particular variable and then need to be get print that particular row details here. Okay. After that, I'm just closing browser. For now, I'm using it. So for now, let's see that we'll run with the program and we'll see that how it will be working. We are taking with row count. We are taking with row count. Now, if I'm taking with this particular program, if I run this program, what is the row count it has to print it? What is the row count it has to print? 7. It has to be get print with the row count that it has to be printed 7. Now let's see that what exactly the row count is printing. It's need to be get open and it's need to be get print row count. What is the row count it is printing? 1. Why it is giving 1? Oh, that is the reason we are taking find elements, right? We have to consider all the rows. That's the reason we have been taken find elements. But which it is giving with the row count as a 1 only. Why it is giving the row count is 1? I'm not taking column, right? I'm taking only rows. If you want to print with the 7, what need to be done? Loop, okay. Okay. See the understanding. This is what need to be get comfortable. When you're working with this count, to retrieve the count, what is the method name we got? Size method. Size method is working based on X path. It doesn't worry either it is row count or column count. It is not looking into that. It will take care about what exactly the X path you have been provided. Whatever the X path you written, whatever the X path you have been written, based on that particular X path, based on that particular X path, it will be taking with, based on that particular X path, it will be taking with that particular respective count here. So because of that, let's see that how we can write that particular respective X path. Now our requirement, what exactly we need to retrieve? Row count here. We need to retrieve row count. So I'm not providing any details related to column. This TR, meaning of TR? Table row. The meaning of TR, table row, require the row count, which will be taking with row count. So that row count, we need to retry only one row or all the rows? Need to go with one row or all the rows? We need to go with all the rows here. If you provided tier of 7, if you provided tier of 7, it will consider only 7th row. It will consider only 7th row. Here, why it is giving with the count is 1 is, you mentioned tier of 7. It will be navigating to 7th row. This is first row, second row. It will navigate to 7th row. From the 7th row, it will be navigating to fourth column. From the 7th row, you mention TD of 4, TD, table data, column. You mention that navigate to 7th row and then navigate to fourth column. Because of that, it will be navigating to 7th row. From the 7th row, it will be navigating to fourth column. Then it will be taking with that particular count. Indirectly, it is identifying this cell. Indirectly, it is identifying this particular cell and giving with the data. Because of that, it is giving with the count is 1. Now, you can see that how exactly we are writing the X path. We are not giving the column. This row also, if we given the 7, it will consider only 7th row. It will consider only 7th row here. But now I required, if I am giving 1, it will consider only first row here. But need to be get consider all the rows. Need to be get consider all the rows here. Because of that, it will be just giving with only TR. Will be just giving with only TR. So that it will be considering that all the rows in that particular table. So this will be taking with, this will be taking with row count. This will be taking with row count here. Similar to that, you need to be get, similar to that, you need to be get taking with column count and then need to be get go with row and column. Taking with column count and then taking with row and column. Need to print all the data. Need to print all the data. So this it has to get print all the data. So that it will be taking with row and column. So one will be taking with row count and then taking with column count and then taking with row and column. Okay, done. Now you can see here, need to provide that particular X path. Now this is we done with row count. Now for column count, what is X path we have to provide? For column count, what is X path we have to provide? We'll write TD. Okay? It will be working. Now, see the very simple understanding. When you are taking with column without having the row, can we get in a column? In the table, without having the row, can we get in a column? No, we cannot get the column. Without having the row, we cannot get the column. Row is mandatory. Now, see this particular table. In the first row, how many columns we got? 4 columns. In the second row, how many columns we got? 4 columns. In the seventh row, how many columns we got? 4 columns. Any difference in the column count? Is there any difference in the column count? No. There is no difference in the column count. There is no difference in the column count here. Because of that, as there is no difference, you can mention tier of 1 or tier of 2, tier of 7, whatever it can be. Navigate to first row. Navigate to first row. From the first row need to be get retrieved. From the first row need to be get retrieved that particular column count that will be taking with TD. After that need to be take with row and then taking with column. So one will be taking with row count and then taking with column count and then taking with row and column. That means that is what your practice need to be done with the XPath based on the program requirement. Need to be get comfortable. Based on the program requirement, you need to be get comfortable in taking care about that particular respective XPath here. Okay, let's see that. So now that you will be taking with that particular count, you will be taking with row count and then taking with column count and then taking with row and column. Similar to that, we need to be taking with data. That particular data we need to be taking with cell. That particular data we need to be retrieve the data from one particular cell. Another one we need to be get retrieve the data from whole table. We need to be get retrieve the data from one particular cell. At the same time, we need to be get retrieve the data from whole table here. Okay, let's see that how exactly we can retrieve the data from that particular cell and retrieving with the data from the whole table here. Okay, let's see that. Now, retrieving with the data from any one particular cell, very straightforward. You can take with any of the cell. As an example, I'm taking with the cell data C++. I'm taking with the cell data that will be taking with C++. Now, for this particular cell, what will be the row count? Second row. What is the column count? Second column. Need to be get navigate to second row. Need to be get navigate to second row and then need to navigate to second column. You need to get navigate to second row and need to be get navigate to second column and then retrieve the data. Retrieve the data from one particular cell. Very straightforward. You need to be just provide row details and then column details. Okay, done. Now you can see here further how we can write that particular statement. That particular statement very straightforward, that we will be taking with string and then taking with cell equal to mentioning about driver dot find element, driver dot find element, by dot he will be taking with XPath. You can see that how exactly you can write that particular XPath. You can see how exactly you can provide that particular XPath. Taking with tier of 2, navigate to second row, and then taking with TD of 2, navigate to second column. It's need to be get navigate to second row and need to be get navigate to second column. It's need to be get navigate to second row and then navigating to second column and then taking with dot to retrieve the data. What is the method name? What is the method name? Taking with getText, which will be taking with getText. We are retrieving it. We are retrieving it, assigning to variable, assigning to variable, need to be get print that particular data. So we are retrieving with the data. We are retrieving with the data from one particular cell. We are retrieving with the data from one particular cell. Similar to that, what is the next functionality? Retrieve the data from whole table. From the table, whatever the data is there, all the data need to retrieve. As simple as we need to be get retrieve the data from first row. After that, need to go with second row, retrieve the data. After that, need to be go with third row, need to be retrieve the data. After that, need to be get taking with fourth row here. So it's need to be get go with, it's need to be get go with navigating to each and every row and then retrieve the data. It's need to be get navigate to each and every row and then retrieve the data. So that particular one, that particular one. So that particular one, you will be taking with loop. We have to navigate, we have to iterate each and every row. Further, you will be taking with the help of the loop concept here. So let's see that how exactly you will be taking with that particular loop concept. Okay. Further, you will be mentioning that you will be taking with for loop. You will be taking with for loop. What is the syntax need to be followed? For the for loop, what is the syntax? Initialization, condition, increment or decrement. So need to be go with initialization, int I equal to 1. Then writing with the condition I less than or equal to row. We are already retrieving with row count. That many times it will continue the loop. Okay. After that, you will be taking with I plus plus. Okay, done. Now, you can see how we are writing it. You can see that taking with the string I'm taking with data equal to driver dot find element by dot xpath. We need to be get provide that particular xpath and then taking with dot. What is the method name we are using? What is the method name? Get text. So that xpath we need to write it. That xpath we need to write it. That will look into that. Once we got retry, we are assigning to one particular variable. We are assigning to one particular variable and then need to be get printing that particular respective data. Now let's understand how exactly we can provide this particular XPath. See the understanding according to our regular thing, this particular one, int, what we are considering? Data type. This I, what we are consider? I, what we are consider? Variable. One is considered as variable value. According to our understanding, we got data type and then variable and then variable value. What is a variable we got? I. What is a value? 1. For the first time, variable value. For the first time, variable value. What is a variable value we got? 1 here. For the first time, the variable value we got as a 1. Okay. After that, it will increment. Then what is I value? It will become 2. So once it got incremented, then it will consider as a 2. Again, it will increment it, then taking with 3. Okay. Now, you can see here, we are taking with the X path, mentioning the TR. Meaning of TR? Meaning of TR? Table row. First, we need to retrieve the data from first row. First, we need to retrieve the data from first row. That I'm giving tier of I, which need to be get provided, tier of I. Now, if I'm taking with the I is considered as variable. I is considered as a variable. For this variable, what is the value we got? 1. Considering the tier of 1, it will retrieve the data from first row, assigning to the variable and printing it. After that, I value will increment it. Then it will consider as a 2. It will consider the tier of 2. Then it will take the data from second row and then retrieve the data, assigning to the variable and printing it. So like that, it will be taking with data from each and every row and then it will be printing it. So before printing it, to confirm that either it has been printing or not, providing that particular respective wait statement. Okay. Now, the last point need to be get understand. Let's see here. So according to our understanding, this whole thing, what we are considering it? X path. Okay. This is an X path. Inside of the X path, you given the I. Meaning of I? According to this program, meaning of I is considered as a variable. See the understanding. See the understanding. This whole thing is considered as a X path. In the X path, you provided a variable. In the X path, you got provided. In the X path, you got provided variable is I. This is an X path variable here. Our X path cannot understand. We can understand. X path cannot understand that. X path cannot understand that. This is an a variable. Because of that, you need to follow certain syntax to inform that to consider as a variable. For that, first you will go with square brackets. Within a square brackets, you will be taking with double quotes. Within a square brackets, you will be taking with double quotes. Within a double quotes, taking with plus symbol. Within a double quotes, you will be taking with plus symbol. Within a plus symbol, you will be taking with I. Within a plus symbol, you will be taking with I. Then this X path will understand that. This X path will understand that this I is considering as a one variable. Then this X path will understand that this I is considering as a one variable. Now, don't be confused here. As simple as this is an a X path. In the X path, we need to provide variable. To provide variable, you are taking with double quotes. In between of double quotes, you will be taking with plus symbol. In between of plus symbol, you will be taking with I. Then it will be considering as a variable. So this is what we got an option. This is what we got an option in taking with this particular one. Now you can see here, if I'm executing it, we need to be get row count. What is the row count we have to get? 7. Column count 4. Row and column 7 into 4. 7 into 4? 28. I can see that. So we need to be get that particular one. You need to get row count 7, column count 4, row and column 28, data from one particular cell and data from the table. So taking with data from each and every particular table. So it is taking with data from each and every row and then it will be printing it. So we got row count is 7, column count 4, row and column 28, data from one particular cell and the data from whole table. This is what we got an a possibility in working with web table. So as simple as while working with the Selenium automation, we are trying to get understood how we can get automated different kind of functionalities. The basic program and the advanced programs we are trying to get understand. So all you guys need to be get comfortable with all the syntaxes. You need to be get take care about all these particular syntaxes here. So this is how you guys need to be get take care about in getting comfortable with all these individual program. Once you got comfortable with all these particular individual program, by taking with the help of syntax of all these programs, by taking with the syntax of all these particular things, we can come up with in working with the frameworks concept. Our main target frameworks only. To get work with the frameworks, first need to be get comfortable with all these particular individual programs. So please take care about the practice of all these particular individual program. So by that, your frameworks concept will become in a more easy. If you are not practicing this, definitely your frameworks will become in a problem. So please take care about all the syntaxes, look into that particular practice. So still some more individual programs are there. So that will be continued here. So that will take tomorrow, and then will be continued with frameworks concept here. So just still some more 3 to 4 programs are there that will look into individual program, and after that we'll be getting started with frameworks concept. Okay, take care about all the syntaxes. Right, carry on. Thank you.